Let's go. So I'm Lemonier. I'm a Citrix cloud engineer, and I've been working with Citrix technology for over 15 years. I see a lot of gray hairs here, so I'm probably younger than most of you. I'm passionate about automation and what AI can bring to our daily work. I have a funny story about Lego. 12 years ago, my mentor and I, we did a presentation to our customers, and we used Lego to make our points. So a couple of months ago, when I called my mentor, because we are no longer working together, told him, do you remember about that presentation we did? And he told me, yeah, I do. Well, I'm about to do a presentation about Citrix in Legoland. So it was funny for both of us. Okay. Well, what I'm about to show you today is a demonstration of what I've been building for 1 year almost. It's a way to let AI actually manage your Citrix environment. Not just talk about it, but really manage it. So by the end of the session, you'll have seen an AI agent query real infrastructure, investigate real issues, and take real administrative action. And my favorite part, provision a complete Citrix configuration from a single natural language request. But first, before we start, our sponsors for today, thank you all for making the EUC Denmark 2026. Here's where we're going. So first, I'll set the stage with a problem we probably all share. Then I'll introduce the technology that solves it. It's the Model Context Protocol. And we'll talk briefly about what Citrix is doing with Adrian. If someone knows how to pronounce that, please tell me. Yeah, probably. I won't do that. And then the main event, a live demo with 5 scenarios, each one building on the last one. Okay. Let me tell you about something that happened a few weeks ago for real, and I think it will sound familiar. So we are early in the morning, my phone buzzes, and I look at it. I'm receiving an alert. Connection failures are skyrocketing. So what do? I open Citrix Monitor. Thousands of connection failures. And a bit lower, the registration failures start happening around the same time. Quick look, multiple delivery groups being hit. ME, IN, and DA. And now, Microsoft Teams starts going crazy. A lot of pings. My boss gets disturbed, and then it disturbs me. A nightmare. So what do? Standard operational task. Try to force restart a faulty machine after enabling the maintenance mode. We are using non-persistent VDA, so if it cannot register back, you all know that it will shut it down, put in maintenance mode, I will lose all the logs. I try to connect to another VDA in the meantime. Takes ages. So now I decide to look at my previous restart. It looks like it never happened. So what do? I check the health of the cloud connector in the beautiful Citrix administration console. It says healthy. Restart the test. Still green. Okay, so now I decide to connect through a remote connection to it. And again, takes ages like the VDA. Does it reply to pings? Yes, it does. So now I'm a bit shorthand. So I decide to talk to the cloud team, which is in charge of the infrastructure. No one replies. Decide to talk to the network team. No one replies. And after a bunch of time, finally, someone reaches out to me. Any guess about what happened? No one? Middle East crisis. And AWS losing an entire region, for real, no more data center in Dubai. The root cause I couldn't see, because this infrastructure failure is actually outside of my perimeter. What would do the AI in such case? So you go to ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, whatever AI assistant you use, and you type exactly that. The connection failures are rising, VDAs are getting unregistered. What's happening? Well, let's see what it replies. Welcome to Claude, probably familiar with that interface. And I'm asking that question. And after some time thinking about it, it throws me, look at the registration failure. Thank you. Look at the network failure issue. Oh, DNS, because we all know it's always about DNS. The clock, Then delivery controller overload. What else? VDA service crashes, machine catalog, hosting connection issue. That one is accurate. And then it threw me a bunch of PowerShell query to run, blah, blah, blah. Very generic. Thank you. Groundbreaking, honestly. So what the AI just did, it gave me perfectly correct, perfectly generic, but also a useless answer. Because it doesn't know my environment. It doesn't even know that I'm in the cloud, so I'm not talking about delivery controllers, but cloud connectors. It has no idea that multiple delivery groups are being hit simultaneously, and it has no idea AWS just lost a full region. It's only guessing based on the general knowledge it has been trained on. And here's the thing about large language models. They are genuinely impressive at reasoning. They can analyze, summarize, explain complex problems, write code, compare options, draft an email, write documentation. The intelligence is real, but they have a fundamental limitation. They have no ends. They cannot call your Citrix API. They cannot talk to your monitoring data. They cannot restart a VDA. They cannot put a machine in maintenance mode. Basically, think about an LLM being a brain in a jar. Incredibly smart, completely paralyzed. And for me, it's frustrating because the reasoning ability is what we need. If the AI could actually access my environment, it could probably figure out the connection failure issue in seconds. The intelligence is here, but the connection is not. On the left, we have AI, powerful reasoning, language understanding, pattern recognition, analysis, synthesis. On the right, your Citrix environment with API, PowerShell to talk to it, director full of data about what is going on, and your configuration, the VDAs, the delivery groups, the applications, publish, and also the image. But in the middle, we have nothing, we have a gap. The AI cannot reach your environment, and AI cannot talk about it. This is where most people stop and say, okay, AI is just hype for IT operation. And honestly, if we're only talking about a chatbot, you can't write. But what if there was a standard, secure, and open way for an AI to interact with your Citrix environment? I'm not talking about a hack. I'm not talking about a script wrapper reading the page and throwing you the output, but a real protocol. Think about HTTP for the web or SMTP for the email, but designed specifically for AI to system communication. Actually, that exists, and it's called MCP. So MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. It has been created by Anthropic, the company behind Cloud Code, and it has been open sourced in November 2024. And what is great with that, it works with everything: Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot. The simplest way to describe what MCP is, it's just think about USB-C for AI. Before USB-C, every device, its own connector. Mini USB, micro USB, proprietary USB that you break the cable and then you throw the device. Now, we have one port to connect everything. You can transfer data, you can connect an external monitor, and even charge a device. And sometimes, through one cable. MCP does the same for AI. It's one standard protocol that connects to any external system. And it's open source, no vendor lock-in. How MCP works? The architecture has 4 layers. On the top, you have the AI agent, so the intelligence, the Claude, Gemini, GPT, whatever you use. Below that, you have the MCP client, actually the application you use to interact with the AI. Could be Claude Desktop, VS Code, Cursor, whatever. MCP client is actually built in. When you see your client saying you can connect to your email to Slack, actually that's MCP behind it. Below that, the part that really interests us today, it's the MCP server. This is the code you write. It defines what the AI can do. When I say server, don't be scared. Actually, it's just a script being called when you start your AI application. There is no infrastructure to build, no Windows server to handle, no Docker to set up. It's really called automatically when you start your client. It's a lightweight program that exposes specific capabilities as tool, and at the bottom, you have your system to talk to. API, databases, even file, whatever you want the AI to interact with. The key insight, the AI doesn't get direct access to your system. It goes through the server. It acts as a control gateway. The AI asks, can I use this tool? And the server decides what happens next. MCP defines 3 types of things a server can expose. First, we have tools. It's the action the AI can call. Get all session, shut down the machine, create a delivery group. The AI calls these tools when it needs to do something. Resources are data, configuration file, official documentation, any reference data, things the AI can read to build the context. And prompts, they are reusable command, pre-built instruction that helps the AI approach specific tasks. Today, we are going to focus mostly on the tools because that's where the operational magic is real. Tools are what give the AI its hands. Remember the brain in the jar. So here's what I built. Called it MCP Citrix. Sorry, the name is boring. Not like Adrian. And it's open source on GitHub. I am using Cloud Code as the AI agent. It calls the MCP server when it starts automatically. It's written in Python. Why Python? Because PowerShell cannot do MCP server. And Python is a great language. Honestly, give it a try. It's really easy to work with. If you know how to write PowerShell, the gap to write Python is really small. And then it talks to the Citrix DAS REST API, authenticating using the OAuth2, you know, when you create an ID and a secret for your PowerShell scripts. And the server there decides which tools are available. And each tool is a small Python function. I can show you at a glance. Like, I want to list all the Citrix sessions. It's 5 lines of code. You define your session, your function. You give it a small description that the AI will use to know what the tool is doing, and then the magic. And when it's only a get, it's 4 lines of code, could have been less. So, if the first reaction about AI managing a full Citrix environment and you are concerned about it, that's good. That means you're a responsible administrator. So, let me reassure you. First, the AI can only use the tools you exposed. If there is no tools about delete a machine catalog, the AI cannot delete machine catalog, period. Even if it knows how to build the API, it won't improvise. It will do what the server is telling it to do. Second, the API credentials, they are scoped. You give the MCP server the ID and the secret that can only do what you want it to do. Of course, if you're connecting with your full administrator rights, yeah, it can break everything if it has the power to do that. But the least privilege still applies. If your boss disturbs you every single day, asking you questions about your environment, you give him the MCP server, you generate a secret with only read-only, and no more noise. It won't bother you. Third, the human in the loop. For any action the MCP server will do, the MCP client will require your explicit approval. The AI proposes to do something, you approve, then it executes. So this isn't AI with root access. This is AI with exactly the permission you designed for it. In the end, you're the gatekeeper, you're responsible for what it will do. Adrian, can you do it again? No? Thank you. So, Citrix has been working on their own AI initiative called Adrian. This has nothing to compare with the horrible chatbot that you need to use when you open a support use case these days, okay? That one's a total nightmare, we won't talk about it. Citrix Adrian is the conversational assistant that is available in Citrix Cloud. If you're on-premise, it's not yet available, I'm sorry. But Adrian is smarter. Actually, it's closer to what you expect from ChatGPT. I want to be fair. Adrian is a step forward. It shows that Citrix is thinking about AI in the EUC space, but probably not sure about what to do with it. But it's essentially a conversational assistant integrated into the Citrix console. You ask it questions about your environment, and you get guidance. It's a valid approach, and for basic question, kind of useful, but let's see what it is and what it isn't. So connected on an environment, I launch Citrix ADN, and I just ask it, let's create a machine catalog. Sorry, let's redo that. So it will be thinking about it for a very long time. And then it will throw me a bunch of stuff, telling me about stuff. It knows my environment. It's my environment behind. And I'm not using PVS at all, but it's mentioning it. Then it talked to me about manually provisioning machine. I don't do that. I only do machines that are power managed. And then it continued to explain me about the wizard, multi-session OS, single session OS, etc., etc. Then we moved to, by the end, about you should do a delivery group after. Thank you. And I'm like, okay, can you do that in PowerShell? I don't know if you're familiar with how to do that in PowerShell, but you might be surprised by the answer. First, it's telling me, if you already have a machine, you can do like that. I don't have machine. Look at that, please. And then, if you don't already have machines, this is how you should do. Where it is? Probably there, yeah. So, it's saying, first, build the broker catalog, then the account identity pool, and after you'll see the provisioning scheme. I might be wrong, but for me, you first need to start with the account identity pool, the provisioning scheme, and then the broker catalog. So, what did we learn about that? Well, it doesn't do anything, first. It doesn't even propose to do anything, and it provides guidelines and recommendations and documentation pointers. It can tell you what you should do, but it cannot do it for you. It's still a chatbot in the end, and it's a smarter help button. And the recommendation, as we saw, they are not always tailored to your environment. I should say even never. And you cannot, there's no extensibility about it. You cannot add your own capabilities, or you cannot teach it like how to name a machine catalog when you want to create one. You cannot do that. And there's no way to build reusable automation sequences. I'm not saying Adrian is bad, despite all I'm saying, but it's just a chatbot. Really helpful for L1, L2, but not really for L3 and higher. So this on one side, Adrian, vendor controlled, general guidance, read-only advised, fixed capabilities. And sorry for those that are on-prem, but you don't have access to it. And on the other side, your custom MCP server, where you control everything that queries real data and take real action. And you can extend it with any tool you need, any tool you want. And you build skills for your specific workflows. If you don't know what is a skill, we'll see in a minute. These approaches, they are not competing. We can use both. But only one of them only one of them lets you tell an AI, log off that user and watch it happen. So enough theory, let me show you what this actually looks like. So before we start the demo, let me quickly show you what you're looking for. For obvious reason, I'm not allowed to show you the production environment and to use the AI and the production environment in front of you. So this is a lab environment running in Citrix Cloud. Nothing is fake, nothing is mocked. You will see real machines, real session, real data. I am using Cloud Code as my AI client, but remember, you can use ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever. And I'm going through 5 scenarios: discovery, investigation, remediation, provision, and health audit. Are you ready? So, the first one, basic discovery. I am going to ask the AI a simple question we all think about in the morning. Show me the current state of my Citrix environment. The AI never seen the environment before, never told it anything about it. I never told it anything about Citrix, didn't train it. Let's see how it finds, what it finds. I'm in the console. It's visible for everyone. So, show me the current state of environment. Exactly the sentence I told you. It will think about it. It will understand there is an MCP server ready, calling Citrix. It knows there are some tools available and that it needs to talk. The gatekeeper, even for read-only action, it's asking me, can I do that? I can say yes just for once, or I can yes for the entire session. It's up to you guys, just once. Continues, and it will know that there are other tools to call. And again, asking me for the permission. You can see the name of the MCP server here, the name of the function it will call, and the description. So you're sure what it's about to do. Continue, and then does this stuff, and throw me the entire output. So let's scroll a bit up. No, don't want, so we will pause. Retrieve my delivery group with a bunch of properties. The machine catalogs, it knows how it's provisioned, the number of machines, the hosting connection I'm using. Yes, it's Workspace's core, running in US. The instance type with the number of vCPU, the memory, the disk space, the OS, and the image version I'm using. And below, an inventory of the machines, their name, if they are turned on, registered, in maintenance mode, and why, the number of sessions running on that, the state, if it's usable or only available, and look at that in the notes. Didn't tell it anything, but it's already thinking and said, this machine is at max capacity. Didn't tell it that load index 10,000 means full capacity. It understood it by reading, and it even saying because the CPU is saturated. And the other one looks healthy, in maintenance. The session, it's a fake name, Ragnar. We have no one calling that one like that. How long it's in disconnect state, the protocol, and the client name. Then all my published application, and from which delivery groups. And the connection failure that happened in the last 2 hours, and the reason. I didn't tell it anything. It decided to do all these queries and to throw me that output. And it's already telling me, you have a couple of issues, actually 3, that you really should. First, you have one server at full capacity because of the CPU. And it's telling me, worth investigating to run away the process. Then your other machine is in maintenance mode. Combined with the first issue, your delivery group has no available capacity. And then Ragnar is doing nothing for 4 days. So, real delivery groups, real machine, real session. The AI queried the Citrix DAS REST API through MCP, got the raw data, and presented in a way that actually makes sense, and already analyzing it. Normally, you and I, what we would do, open Citrix connector, the studio, going through here and there, or making a PowerShell script to do that. But here we had one question and one answer with full of detail. But the discovery is the easy part. Let's see if it can actually think. And spoiler alert, you saw it does. Second scenario, a common support situation, a user calls in with a problem. I cannot start my VDI. Can you investigate? Of course, Claude do. Look at that. I'm in the same session, and I ask the exact same question. I didn't say who, just say someone is reporting an issue. And then it will check. My second question, it happened a few minutes after the first one. What it will do, actually, it's telling me, you don't need to do another call. I know what this is about. This is my account. I cannot launch a VDI. It's showing me when it happens, why it happens, and the root cause of it. Again, throwing me the machines with the load index at 10,000, why it's unavailable, in case I'm not really familiar with Citrix. And look at the bottom. Remediation option, from the least to the most disruptive. Again, I didn't tell it anything. Tells me, first, the second server is out of maintenance mode. Fastest fix. You disable that, you restore the service instantly. The log of the session of Ragnar, disconnected for 4 days, won't probably do anything else, and it's consuming a lot of CPU. We should log it up. And if it doesn't work, we can reboot it. And then, at the very bottom, it's telling me, what should I do? Option 1, 2, or both. So, it didn't just dump data earlier. It reasoned about it. You see how it works? I don't tell who, it just queries monitor data, check the machine available, identify the problem, and connect the dots. That's not a database query or PowerShell, whatever. It's analysis. And actually, it reasoned exactly like you and we would do, in the same order, but it did it in seconds. It investigated, and it followed a logical diagnosis path. But the difference is speed. Did it in seconds. Okay. Investigating one thing. What do you think? Can it fix it? Let's see. I'm not telling it what to do. Just go ahead and fix it. Like you would talk to your intern. Think about it. A guess what it will do. 1, B, 1 or 2. Okay, anyone else? No? No? Okay. Actually, it will do both. First, it's calling another tool, and it's asking me permission to do that. So, Norris putting all the machine in your infrastructure into maintenance mode all at once, and, pardon my French, fucking your infrastructure. And then, it will ask the permission to log off the session. And something weird will happen. The log off succeeded, but the maintenance toggle returned a weird error. What a PowerShell script would do in such situation? It will break. What an AI do in such situation? Well, it looked if it worked. Actually, it did. Before, after. The maintenance mode is off, it's available, the fault state is gone. It logged off the session, but the max capacity is still there. So now it's telling me, I can start my VDI, thank you, but the server is still stuck. Want me to restart it? I could do, I won't. You gather it, you get it. The AI just performed 2 real administrative actions on a live Citrix environment, safely, with my approval, through the control protocol. I think this is the moment where MCP goes, it's interesting to, you probably want that. Am I right or am I wrong? Okay. Scenario 4, this one is great. So far we've done just one read operation and a couple of actions, but they are all kind of independent. There is no scenario to follow. Here, I'm going to ask the AI to provision an entire configuration from scratch in one request. So let me define you a use case. When we build an image, a tailored image with specific application in it, and then we use dedicated machine catalogs and publish delivery group or published application to a bunch of users, we call that use cases. We handle 15 use cases in production. So to handle that, I built what's called a skill. It's a sequence of tools designed for specific tasks. Let's see. This is my portal. I have my 6 published applications that you saw earlier, and 1 VDI. Again, the naming, pretty simple, not crazy. My Citrix configuration. Machine catalog, only 1, called support. Delivery group, only 1, called support. Go back to Claude. Build the use case for finance. I'm not telling it anything. Where to put the machine, how to name them, the instance type, the image. I'm not telling anything. But it will know it will have to do something about it. You see? Skill. Detected that what I'm asking it to do is linked to a skill. And it's starting by provisioning the finance machine catalog now. And again, gatekeeper, it will ask for my permission. Did I say yes? Or maybe not. And now, don't know you, but it's taking between 10 to 15 minutes to build a machine catalog, 2 hours if the image is encrypted. So it will know that it needs to sleep, to pause, waiting for the output. So we move forward and then detected that machine catalog has been provisioned. Now needs to create the delivery group with the name I provided and the machine catalog from the previous command. Asking my permission again. And then, okay, it's finished. I created everything. Let's have a look. Machine catalog. Here's my new one. The naming convention is applied. The delivery group. Here's the new one. Naming convention still applied. And in my portal, if I'm lucky and a bit patient, I will see the icon. So, what you just saw, I would say we spent 15 to 20 minutes in Citrix Studio staring at the console, waiting for the machine catalog to finish, or starting it, doing something else, and 3 hours later, remembering, I started something. So, that skill I wrote it once, never repeated it, and anyone in my team can use it. So, what are skills? Skills are what take MCP from useful for me to indispensable. A tool is a single action. Get the session, restore the machine. The skill is a complete workflow. It's a sequence of tools with the logic and designed for specific tasks. Build a use case is just not one task. It's multiple steps. Yeah, account identity, the prof scheme, machine catalog, delivery group, access policy. The skills knows all that knowledge. And I'm sorry for the analogy, we are on Legoland, but think about it as Lego bricks. The skills are actually the instruction booklet that turns the bricks into a castle. I wrote it once, I can share it with the team, so I'm sure that the result will be consistent, repeatable, and it's easily shareable. It's just a text file. So I think this is where MCP stops being a cool demo and starts being a real operational platform. Last demo. Do you know Citrix Advisor? Yes? Only one, yes. Okay, for the other one. It's an hidden gem. So I said Adrian is shit, Advisor is great. It checks your environment against best practices and flags the issue and the remediation action. But actually today, it doesn't have a public API. There is no official way to query it programmatically. But does that stop us? I don't think so. Check Advisor. I'm really speaking to it like an intern. Asking my permission, as you can see here. Throwing me the raw output. That's ugly, but hey, here it is. And it even prioritized the remediation plan, explaining me everything that it saw, how to remediate, and so on. And you know why? The AI, I'm using it for a while now. It knows me. It knows we are using Agile at work. So it tells me, this week, you can do that. It's low risk, go ahead. Next sprint, you should handle those tasks, security posture. The second one, less hurry, just clean up, put that in the backlog and do that, whatever you want. And it's telling me, I can take care of that for you already. So, we just queried a service that has no official API. Look at the documentation. Advisor is nowhere. But it just didn't dump the data. It analyzed the findings, prioritized them, and delivered a structured LC report. This is actually the power of MCP. You're not limited to the official API. There's a way to interact with it. You can build a tool for it. Okay. Do you remember where we started? The real morning I told you about connection failures, skyrocketing, opening monitor. issues across Middle East, India, South Africa, me clicking everywhere, restarting VDA, no effect, teams going crazy, no one replying to me, to eventually finding out that AWS lost a full region. Not from my tooling, actually, but because someone reached out to me. Now, imagine that same morning with MCP. Connection failure are spiking in Middle East, India, and South Africa. Investigate. And the AI queries the monitor data, cross-reference the timing and the geography of the failure, and spots a pattern. Correlated failure across the cloud region, not a Citrix configuration, like most of the people who think. And then remediation, putting machine in maintenance mode, routing users to another delivery group, to another region, to restore the service. In a blink of an eye, the coffee is still warm. Huh? So, gives you a concrete answer to tell your boss and the user before anyone calls you. And as you can do whatever you want with MCP, I can even teach it, okay, AWS lost a region once, now check the AWS status page now on a regular basis. And that's actually the transformation. It's not an AI that talks about Citrix, as we saw at the beginning, but an AI that manages Citrix under your control, with your permission, through an open standard, from reactive to proactive, from blind to aware, from a brain in a jar to a brain with a body. And with recent development, I don't know if you're aware, but MCP is running on my computer, but they released something called remote control. I can share that conversation with my phone, so I can solve my Middle East situation from the bed, actually. Okay, so everything I showed you today is open source and available on GitHub. You can scan the QR code to get directly access to it. You clone it, you configure your Citrix Cloud credential, you add it to Cloud Desktop, Copilot, whatever, and you're up and running, less than 10 minutes. The README in the repository walks you through everything. If you build new tools or skills, please contribute them back. This is a community project. The more tools we have, the more powerful it becomes from everyone. And by the way, MCP isn't just for Citrix. There are already official MCP servers provided by the vendors directly, like for Jira, Slack, GitHub, maybe Citrix in the future. No, it already exists for NetScalers. It's just that for DAS, it will wait later. The ecosystem is growing fast, but a word of caution. Be careful with unofficial MCP server. Like any open source tool, any code you find on the internet, review it before you run it. You give it access to your system. So make sure you trust it. Thank you for your time today. I hope this has given you a concrete picture of what operational AI looks into the Citrix world. My details are on the screen, QR code for the GitHub repo. And now I'd love to hear your question. And if any of you try MCP Citrix after today, please let me know how it goes. Share your feedback, everything. So, do you have any question?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said AI, LLM, writes. If you only give it read writes, does it know it?
It will try to query, basically, if you ask it, delete the machine catalog, it will try to call the API, but Citrix Cloud API will throw you an error because you don't provide it the right.
The question is just, is it aware? Before is
no, no, it's not. No. Maybe there is a way, but I don't know. Maybe it can do first a call to say about me, and then check the right I have, and keep that in memory. Yeah, we could implement that. That's a good comment. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, actually, in the repository, in the README. Can we use that on premises? Because I only showed it in the cloud. Yes, actually, from a few months, you can talk to your on-premise infrastructure through REST API. In the README, it explains you how to do that, basically. I haven't tested it, so if it doesn't work, Just tell me. Yep.
What about else in terms of is it possible to talk to the sensor as well?
Sensor?
Sensor.
Sorry.
Sensor.
If it has an API, yeah, you can do that. If you want to know how to talk to it, the way I do, because the DAS REST API is a nightmare in the documentation from Citrix. Do whatever you want to do in your tool through the web browser, and you use the developer tools. You go to network, and you'll see all the API endpoints being called. And then this is where you can reuse the URLs, the payload when you want to send it data before, and how to interpret the answer. It's a bit tricky, but as soon as you do that once, then it's like running bicycle. Yeah?
Last year, met was
Okay. It's Adrian, actually. Yeah. They're renaming it for whatever reason with that name. Because, of course, Copilot is Microsoft branded. They did not want to have a lawsuit on their shoulders. So they're renaming with Adrian. Javier, do you know how to pronounce it? Okay.
It's Adrian. They couldn't just call it Adrian though, because Adrian is also trademark. So
Okay.
yeah, I know why they just didn't call it
Ed.
Ed.
Yeah, okay. Ed in French means help. It's not really helpful. Anyone else? Yep.
What is the process of coding the MCP server? Is something iterative? Do you start from something initial, something initial functional, or how the I suppose that you use AI for building, or you use it from specification?
Yeah, it's an open standard. So you have the official website that throws you the entire documentation. And then it's really up to you how you want to approach it, better by trying by hand or asking any AI to help you build an MCP server, and it will know pretty fast how to do. It knows that it needs to query that library. It's the one that explains how the MCP works. Then you give it a name. Here it's how I protect my credential. Don't do that in production, please. Then it's, generic variable like you would use in PowerShell. This is how I get my bearer token to talk to the API. And then this is how you expose tool. Basically, it's mcp.tool. Then you define the function. You gave it a name. The description, that's how AI knows which one it would talk. And then the code. When it's just reading, it's a get. You give it the URL, and that's it. When you have a post, you need to, where can I show you a post? Like here, when I put in maintenance mode, you need to provide it a data so the API endpoint knows what to do. So this is where you build your data, and then you get the query to do it, and you pass it at the end. Honestly, it's really, really simple. Yes?
About that, have you paid any drop license? That's one question of what is the cost of this in terms of license fees to AI unit? And the second one, is this MC running Legoland your Mac OS? You don't need any special hardware to run this thing?
So the costs first. To talk to the DAS REST API, you don't need any specific licenses. Even if with the basic model or being on-prem, you can use the DAS REST API. Regarding the cost of the AI, well, on the free tier, you can do that, but you will reach, the token limit, the number of queries you can do to your AI pretty fast. Not because of the MCP, but because of how AI is now. But with the paid, with the subscription, I never eat it, even if with the basic one. And the second question, it was about how it runs. So yeah, the Python script is running locally. The AI, I'm using Claude, so it's in the cloud. But if you're familiar with LM Studio, where you can download model and run it locally, If it supports MCP, you can connect it, and then it's your laptop doing the thinking. But it will depend on the hardware you have. If you have a lower PC, it will take ages. If you have one of the latest NVIDIA GPU, it will be fast. Actually, the MCP server is just like a script listening for queries. There is nothing to calculate. It's the AI that does all the work. Anyone else? No? Okay. Thank you then. I show that quickly so you can follow EUC. Thank you all.